We decided to hold the NMPi Ignite event on the topic of succeed in times of change because there is so much change happening around us, whether it be Brexit or whether it be regulatory or whether it be technological, it's inevitable. And so we have to deal with it and we have to face it. And so I wanted to bring a panel together that could really help the audience understand how they could embrace and succeed in times of change.
Change is happening everywhere.
Nobody really knows what's going to happen over the kind of coming weeks and months.
It's nice having a group of thought leaders together and discussing innovations and ways to, ways we're going to push things forward moving into 2019.
One of the key things I've taken away from today is just to kind of respond to change the best way you can. Change is inevitable and you just need to kind of be prepared to kind of adapt and kind of come out the other side.
Adaptability is a really key area that can really help us to transition through change. I think from a business perspective, there's about 3 different areas that I see is a way that we can challenge adaptive behaviours. One is kind of creating the space and the time and resource to allow creative thinking. The other ways, as we discussed sort of during the talk, is obviously if you don't have any choice, then we have to find a way around things. Which means we adapt and we start to get a bit more lateral in our thinking when we challenge it. And thirdly, for me, around that sort of adaptive mindset is about potentially questioning, like how do we question? How can we actually ask creative questioning to make people think in a different way?
If I was to describe today's event in one word, it would be valuable.
The event was great, it was really informative.
Really opened up my mind about lots of different industries and things that I don't think about on a day-to-day basis.
There was a good agenda.
A real range of topics.
Interesting to hear the sort of current topics and conversations that are happening about transitioning through change. Because I think regardless of whether you're in business or brands or sport or military, kind of actually there's a lot of things that we all share. From my learning of being a leader in having rowed across the Pacific Ocean with the crew that I had, my biggest learnings was about being open and not seeing things through my own lens. You know, the way I was doing things, I needed to lead from the front, I needed to lead by example, I needed to be like at the sort of forefront of doing everything. And my biggest learning curve was actually the more I stepped back and I allowed the team to kind of step in and supported them through potential failures and stuff, was more kind of team encompassing and helped us to be all collective and be successful together than it did actually separate me as a leader.
Right from the very top, from Luke's introduction, every single speaker supported the agenda very well and contributed to that agenda from each of their different areas. Plus Laura's keynote at the end was really well executed and very interesting.
I'd really recommend coming to one of these events. It's great to kind of just take that step back and see what's going on in the wider landscape and also have that opportunity to network with some of your peers.
It's a really good way to spend an afternoon and speak to lots of different people and learn about lots of different things.
I hope our audience today were educated, entertained and inspired by the stories that they heard from our speakers about how not only to succeed in times of change, but how to thrive in times of change.